This is a video that I feel like I need to do, but I dread doing. This is the top 10 for life video. I am committing to doing this once a year. I'm actually a little bit late because this should have been done at the end of 2023, but I ran out of time to film it. And so I'm putting it up as the first weekend video of January 2024. I do have a 22, 21, and 20 version posted. I'll do a little playlist of those down below so you can see what made those if you're interested in binging on the past versions of this. It's 10 fragrances. These are the 10, the scenario that I would grab if I had no choice and just had like a couple of seconds to like rummage the shelves and grab them because there was some crazy emergency happening and I had to run out of the house with only 10 fragrances that I just could not live without for the rest of my life. Like I'm getting on a spaceship to Mars and I have to take only 10 fragrances or something. So I hope I did this right. I'm a little nervous because I feel always when I do these, like I leave out something that later I will regret not mentioning. So for that reason, I love me a good pinned comment with other suggestions. I'm going to put, if I had to do the top 23 for life, let's think about 2023, right? What are the other 13 that I would add? They'll be in the pinned comment below, and those will be like the honorable mentions that are really fantastic. I am not going to look up notes. I'm just going to do this off of memory from what I remember the notes are in the fragrance and just share with you what it smells like to me and why it's so special. May the odds be ever in your favor. May the force be with you, and all of those other things. So I'll start off with some of the ones that have made it into the collection year after year, the top 10 year after year, because they are special to me for some reason or another, one reason or another. You all know my signature scent. A lot of folks associate this scent with me because I go on and on and on about it on YouTube. It is the beautiful Still from Jennifer Lopez. This is one of the most simple, clean, elegant, easygoing scents all wrapped up in one. It's both happy and sophisticated and everyday and special occasion. All of the things. It can go with you through any occasion. I've worn it in the summer. I've worn it in the fall. I've worn it in winter and spring. And I've enjoyed it for very many years. This is bottle number, I don't even know at this point, a lot. Bottle number a lot for me. And I have other backups of it because it's one that I don't want to be without. It is a cheapie. I think you should be able to find this on like FragranceNet or maybe Amazon or something for under $30. There are different versions. This is the 1.7 ounce. There is a bigger version. It does come with a ring that looks like a ring around this that looks like an engagement ring. And I took that off. I would look for the one that has the script, the name in script versus the name in print. There is a slight difference between them. Honestly, I don't think it's enough that anybody needs to worry about it. You really could get either one, but this is, I think, the original formulation, if I'm not mistaken. I love how happy and fresh this is. Notes that stand out to me. There is sandalwood as a base in the fragrance, and it's a really soft, thin sandalwood. There's an apple note, fresh tea note. I think it's green tea, or is it Earl Grey tea? I don't remember. Maybe Earl Grey tea. There are clean florals. It almost smells a little bit soapy and a little bit like bright from that apple note and also comforting from the tea note. So if it's possible to get all of that in a fragrance, this has done it. And it also has this sort of sparkly nature to it where it feels fresh and clean and very carefree. And so for that reason, this is a fragrance I can wear with white t-shirt and jeans or dress up and wear in a fancy dress too, if I want it to be unassuming but classy and elegant in my scent. Go ahead, Jennifer Lopez, or whoever designed it for her, because, they get perfumers to do these formulas for them. And this is a winner for me. Really, really nice. Signature scent, never leaving the collection. Another fragrance that has a lot of nostalgia attached to it for me and reminds me of being young. Footloose, what is it? Footloose and fancy, footloose and carefree, or whatever the expression is. This reminds me of me living my best life, hanging out with friends, walking the streets of New York in the bitter cold of winter with my little heels on, thinking I was cute. My little tight jeans and heels, and I thought I was all of that in a bag of chips. And it is bond number 9, Chinatown, which has the different, the bottle isn't the best to me. I love the shape of these bottles. There's been a lot of debate about the bond number 9 bottles lately, and are they ugly or not? I'm a fan. But I'm also a New Yorker. You know, I was born and raised there. I don't live there now. I live in Virginia. And so these are all named after neighborhoods or streets in New York. And it has special meaning to me. The house has special meaning to me because of that. I love the naming of the bottles and the theming. And some of them are a little cheesy, but I still like have a warm spot, you know, warm place in my heart for these. So the fragrance is cardamom and tuberose and sandalwood. And I think there's peach in here also. I can't say I pick up a lot of peach. I pick up a soft tuberose, but mostly it's like almost like a smoky cardamom for me. And I might just associate that with the scents and smells of Chinatown when you walk by certain shops and there's incense burning and spices that are coming out of the shops in Chinatown in New York, and a beautiful sandalwood note. I love that this is comforting and warm and inviting and a very pretty smell. It's like a spicy pretty, and I just adore this and just can't imagine not having it in my collection. Is it the most fantastic fragrance in the world? I don't know, you decide, but I think it's beautiful and worthy of a top 10 spot because of my memory association and the fact that I think it's a really wonderful smell. It smells great on me. When I wear this, people compliment me, and I have had my friends to wear out of my bottle when we were going, you know, getting ready for the night. I would spray them and they would go out and get compliments with this fragrance too. So this is a winner. Then we go to a fragrance that just defies description. I have a really hard time describing the scent because it is so unique. And I have never to this day smelled anything quite like this. This is Amar by Givenchy. So when this first came out way back, I think it was in 2000 or 2001, somewhere in there, 99, 2000, 2001, this fragrance was loud and proud. It was very mature for ladies to wear. You know, and you knew when people had this on, you were like, oh, you're wearing the new Amar, because it is like, woo, a really loud projecting fragrance and a very long lasting fragrance. This is one that my husband goes bananas over when I wear. He just cannot stop sniffing me and trying to get close. It is the most elegant, sweet, floral, amber, woody fragrance. And there's something in it, an accord that I just can't describe to you. It's like this warm, almost solar background to this, but just so, so beautiful. One of the most womanly, highly feminine scents in my collection. This is, again, like probably bottle number 3 of this fragrance that I've had recently. I owned a bottle a while back. One that I had a hard time getting used to when it first came out because I was like, oh my gosh, that fragrance wears you. And it does if you spray too much of it. And you know, in those days, we just sprayed ourselves down because we didn't know any better. We thought that's the way you wore fragrance. So this is one that and it's an eau de toilette, but it doesn't matter. I would say, you know, a handful of sprays max, 3 to 5 at the most, and definitely not in this area. Spray down below, spray your clothing or something, and let people enjoy this from afar because it is a room-filling fragrance, but just one of the most glorious, most magnificent, floral, amber, woody, distinct kind of sweetness, not sticky sweet, not juvenile sweet, just an elegant, like I don't even know how to describe it. I have no words for it. You just got to try it. Then this fragrance won as my wedding scent. And a lot of people think it's crazy because they're like, you wore that on your wedding? I sure did. I don't have any shame. And yes, it was the heat of summer on a riverbank in Virginia in front of this beautiful antebellum mansion. And I wore this magnificence in that sticky, hot, high 80s degree weather. And that is the gorgeous Alien. This is the original eau de parfum concentration. The eau de toilette smells a little different, a little more watery, and I'm not as crazy about that. This is mostly this very luscious, round, rich jasmine scent, along with a beautiful, sweet amber accord sitting on a woody, almost like a musky, woody base. Really pretty fragrance. I have never not gotten a compliment when I wear this. And this is the one that I would say that men go the craziest over in my entire collection, maybe second to Amar. This is the compliment getter. This fragrance gets a lot of hate. I don't understand that. I don't understand why people don't like Alien. I'm so sorry. I just don't get it. But that's how we feel, right? About the fragrances that we love. We are into them and we just don't understand why other folks don't. At least with this one, I could see that it might be a little too loud, like Amar for people. This one, I'm just baffled why people don't like it, unless they have smelled it oversprayed on someone and it was too much. This is one that can be really overpowering on people. I have loved this on other women. Like I will chase women down and say, what are you wearing? And they'll say Alien. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have that fragrance. It smells slightly different on everyone, but this is the quintessential compliment getter for me. So I forgot to bring the next fragrance down here to the filming room with me. It is upstairs, but it is the absolutely gorgeous Narciso in the White Cube. I adore this fragrance. This was a runner-up for my wedding scent. It is gardenia and musk and woodiness and a splash of rose. The gardenia in here is so beautiful and round, almost like a wet floral gardenia, luscious summer garden smell, along with this gorgeous Narciso Rodriguez musk and this lovely soft woodiness. Now, this fragrance is tremendously overpowering if you spray too much. This is one where you want to go 1 or 2, maybe 3 sprays if you're feeling bold. I would not suggest wearing this in the heat of the summer like my crazy self does. It's cloying and it's overwhelming. This is one that you want to spray a couple of times at the most. It's highly feminine. It's very alluring. It's thick. It is a really thick, powerful, dense fragrance, but it is gorgeous. And I've not smelled anything like it with the exception of Bulgari, however you want to pronounce that, Patchouli Temptation. That is maybe a dupe of the Narciso one. And so if you can't find the white Narciso cube because it's supposedly discontinued, check out that Patchouli Temptation. I don't know why it's called Patchouli Temptation because I don't get a lot of patchouli in it. I get the Narciso white cube flavor, like that gardenia, musky, woody smell with, again, that splash, like a little hint of rosiness to it. Absolutely gorgeous fragrance. Then I definitely can't go to Mars without the gorgeous Soleil Blanc from Tom Ford. This is a beautiful mix of white and yellow florals and this creamy coconut. This is summer perfection in a bottle. I'm still making my way through this 30 ml, 1 ounce. I thought about picking up the full bottle in the recent Joma Shop sale, but I ended up going for a different fragrance that was on sale and thinking I'll pick up the bigger one in the summertime when I start to use it more. Although I think this is a year-round fragrance, I also have this as a travel spray because it's beautiful in office settings too. I think this is a round, full scent that just screams class and elegance to me. It's really a nicely done fragrance that is highly inoffensive and I think highly palatable by everyone else in the room who smells it on you. You will smell clean and floral and creamy and coconutty, and just people will want to smell you and be around you when you wear this. I will say, if you are interested in this scent, make sure that you are picking up the Soleil Blanc Eau de Parfum, not the Eau de Soleil Blanc, which that one is really nice too. It's a little bit thinner than this one. It doesn't have the creaminess of this one. And that one has a little bit more of, I think it's a neroli note at the top, a bright sort of citrusy note that is stronger there, whereas this one is more creamy and floral. Then I gotta give it up to this fragrance that stole my heart when I first tried it, and it was in my top 10 last year and continues to be this year. It is Karolina Herrera Saffron Lazuli. I love a lot of the ones from this line. This one and Sandal Ruby are probably my top favorites from the line. I have a bunch of them, and most of them are really, really pretty. This is the most amazing, soft, supple leather. Like a beautiful worn-in leather coat with, and I've told you this story a lot of times, like a spearmint gum edition combined with juicy fruit. So my mom would wear a leather coat in the winter and she always had gum in her inside pocket, and it would warm up the powders of the gum, spearmint and juicy fruit combined together with the smell of the leather coat is what this reminds me of. It is leather and it is saffron, but it comes across like that gum smell that I just love, with this beautiful, very soft, supple leather background. Not a harsh animalic leather by any means. It is a really soft, like high quality, beautiful, like lambskin leather. Oh, so good. Long lasting too, by the way, and very projecting. This one is one that does get noticed by my entire household. They love it on me. And a fragrance that brings me great comfort. I didn't love it when I first sprayed it in Sephora, and then I walked around and caught another whiff of myself and went, "Ooh, what kind of amazingness is this?" This is Commodity Milk Plus, or Bold. I do like the expressive version as well. That one is a little bit more marshmallowy, whereas this one has a deeper, sort of thicker, woody base. This smells a lot like condensed milk, condensed sweetened milk, which, you know, you think about the creamy texture of that, like the kind that you would use to bake or with eggnog. That type of texture is what this gives me. There's a lot of sweetness. It's very sugary in like the caramel direction. There's no caramel in here, but it's that kind of like sticky sweetness, this marshmallow type of note here. Although, like I said, the expressive one has more of the marshmallow texture. This has more marshmallow smell, but sitting in that creaminess from that condensed milk type of feel, and then a woodiness in the base of this. It is sweet, it's comforting, it's thick, it's a beautiful, beautiful sweater weather fragrance when you want to feel cozy and comforted, cocooned in your scent. This is the one. This is the one. And this, for me, lasts a very long time and is pretty projecting and is just fantastic. Fell in love with this head over heels this past year along with the expressive version, but this one is the one I would take of the two. Speaking of another cocooning scent, and then I had to decide, do I want this one and Commodity Milk Bold? And the answer is yes. This is Shanquan from Zerof. No one knows the notes. For me, this comes across like another sort of creamy coconut, maybe not quite as creamy and dense as Soleil Blanc, right? A little bit thinner, but still nonetheless a creamy coconut. I think there's some sandalwood here, at least that's what my nose is picking up, like a soft, smooth sandalwood base, a little bit of hint of spiciness. This reminds me of Santal Basmati from Evanescence, as though that were like a much thicker version. Okay, so that's a really sort of thin sandalwood and basmati rice scent. Imagine if that were condensed into something creamier. You get that kind of feel in here. Maybe then there's something ricey. I hadn't really put that together, like thought about that beforehand. Maybe there's something a little bit rice smelling in here or in the basmati rice direction. This is beautiful, and we, meaning a lot of people who have smelled this, think it also has some kind of tea note, like a mate tea note or something like that in the fragrance. Cocooning, smells like a luxurious, comfortable spa smell, but in the sandalwood, coconut, tea direction. Just amazing, amazing. I love putting this on. I love that it's subtle. I love that it has a lot of personality without screaming. It's really sort of soft to the skin, fairly decent in terms of the longevity, but a very unassuming fragrance. This is the person in the room who has a lot of presence and a lot of personality without having to be loud, boisterous, or drawing attention to themselves. And that's why I adore this fragrance. And then finally, gosh, I feel like I've talked about this fragrance so much in recent videos. And it deserves it. It deserves it. A fragrance that I picked up this year and fell in love with and almost ignored. It's from Victoria's Secret and it's Bare. Gosh, I think I've talked about this for 5 videos straight or something, which is not like me. I like to switch it up and share a lot of different kinds of fragrances with you all. But this has captured my heart, and it beat out Oris 22 for this 10th spot because that one was close behind in terms of being a clean yet feminine, sweet, floral fragrance that is everyday, easy wear, can wear anywhere, anytime, any season. This is violet and sandalwood and mandarin orange. So it has like this clean coolness to it, some warmth from the sandalwood and the brightness from the citrus that makes this such an easy wear. I could easily see, y'all, if these bottles were people that had personalities, these two would be bosom buddies, along with Oris 22 from Stephanie Letta. The 3 of them together could be great, great friends. And I love them for that. This is a great everyday fragrance and one that I would not hesitate to wear to an office setting. The other fragrance that I would add to this and Oris 22 to make a quartet would be Soleil Neige from Tom Ford. That's a whole nother video, right? But this rounds out my top 10 for life. This year for life, that I would take with me to a deserted island, on a spaceship to Mars, underground bunker if the end of the world came. Knock on wood. Let's not, speak that into existence. And I have my other honorable mentions in the pinned comment below. Would love to hear your thoughts on these. Hope I didn't bore you too much because a lot of these are repeats from last year, but that just goes to show you how much they mean to me, both in terms of the memories that they evoke, the way that they make me feel, and their classic nature. They're timeless. Some of these feel like timeless to me. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one, friends. Take care.